Hi everyone, welcome back. You're watching The Money Show on ET Now. How many of you guys found the perfect house and you love the rental because it fits your budget, but the minute the landlord says, hey, you like my house? Okay, fine. Here you go, 6 months rental deposit bill has to be paid up front. And that is something that shadows your dream of getting that perfect home on rent. And the problem is exacerbated if you live in a metro city. Well, LoanTap has a solution for that. You can simply take a loan and pay off that rental deposit. Let's talk a bit more about this unique solution to a unique problem. Vikas Kumar, the co-founder and CTO of LoanTap, now joins us on the show. Vikas, thanks so much for joining us on The Money Show. Security deposit loan. I suppose times have reached such a situation where metro cities are getting crowded. People don't want to buy homes. They just want to go on rent because they want that flexibility of moving around. But that is something that leads to higher deposits, security deposits. So Vikas, how exactly does a security deposit loan work? If you could just first tell us briefly and then we'll delve into the details.
Oh, sure. So basically, as you rightly pointed out, in metro cities, when you take a house like in a Mumbai or a Pune, you will typically have to pay a deposit of anywhere between 6 to 11 months. Now that could come anywhere like 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs. Now it's difficult to pay this upfront. So what do you do in that scenario? Right? So what we do is we offer rental deposit loans. In that we will give that deposit to the landlord for 11 to 33 months, depending on how long the lease period is. You only service the interest every month, and when the landlord pays you back the security deposit, we will take that and basically get our principal back. That's how it works. The advantage of this over a personal loan is that you're only servicing the interest, and therefore the cost or the cash outflow per month is significantly 40 to 50% lesser than if you took a personal loan. So that's broadly how a rental deposit or a security deposit works.
So who is eligible then for this scheme? I mean, I'm sure when you provide a loan like this, there are certain check boxes or criteria that the borrower would have to fulfill. So for LoanTap, what exactly are you looking for in the borrower?
So we're primarily looking at salaried professionals who have been working for maybe a couple of years and a basic salary of at least 30,000-40,000 rupees. That's broadly the criteria. Rest obviously based on the credit portfolio, we will decide whether he's eligible for the loan or not.
All right. Now, you very briefly spoke about the difference between the personal loan. But yeah, I'm sure many of our viewers may be thinking, hey, why not I just take a personal loan and then pay off this rental deposit, and then that 10, 11, 13 odd percent interest is what I can pay off my bank. So how exactly does a security deposit loan offered by LoanTap differ from a personal loan taken from a bank?
So see, interest rates are same. So whether you take a personal loan from us or take a rental deposit, we will not charge you higher interest rate. But what happens in a personal loan, you have to pay what is called an EMI, obviously. So you have to pay a significantly higher amount. So for example, over 11 months, you have to pay the whole loan which you have taken. So if you have taken 3 lakhs, it will get divided into equated monthly installments, and you'll have to pay interest plus principal every month. That becomes very high. But if you take a loan, a rental deposit loan, you're only servicing the interest part. The principal is obviously with the landlord. And when the security deposit comes back, at that point, we get our principal back. So the amounts will be much, much lesser. Like as you have pointed out, EMIs on personal loan could be as high as 29,000-30,000 on just a 3 lakh loan, while EMIs on a security deposit loan will be as low as 4,500. So millennials today have a big cash flow problem, right? So if you have to pay 30,000 on a EMI and you might also have some other loans going on, it becomes impossible to service your personal loan. While this loan is eases off that burden because the deposit, we will get the money from the landlord after 11 months or 33 months, and you have to pay a much smaller amount every month.
Okay, so just to understand, basically, you give the money and the money is given to, in turn, the landlord. does your your payback period depend on the loan agreement? Because naturally, if I'm taking a home on rent and I tell the landlord that I want your home for, let's say, 3 years, so, and obviously the deposit as well will lie with him for 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, it could be a bit longer as well. So does that mean the duration of your loan as well will coincide with the the duration of my rental agreement? Is that right?
Absolutely. In fact,
Okay.
we will be seeing the rental agreement. So typically in metros, you have rental agreements anywhere either 11 months, 22 months or 33 months. So the product we offer is also of 11 months, 22 months or 33 months. So let's say, for example, you have a 3-year or 33 months agreement, then we will recover our principal after three years. So these are the standard norms. Typically, most of the agreements are of 11 months, 22 or 33 months.
Okay, understood. So that's the general duration of the agreements. Now, Vikas, how fast is the loan processed? I mean, because usually when you go to a bank for a loan, it obviously takes a little time. They have their enormous amounts of paperwork, etc. to do. What about when I'm coming to you for a loan, for a security deposit loan, and also the credit score component, because that as well I'm sure is important. So how much of a factor is that as well?
Okay. So time we take. So typically we will give you a in principle approval, pre-approval immediately. In 4 to 6 business hours, we will tell you whether we can give you the loan. And depending on the speed at which you can give us the documents, we close and give you the money in 24 to 48 hours. So usually the process is quite fast. And if there is a delay, it's primarily, at the customer end where he may not have the agreement yet ready or stuff ready. If everything is ready, usually we can give the loan within 1 day. That's not a problem.
Okay, as soon as 1 day, if all your documents are in order, a LoanTap can simply give you, your loan, the amount in 1 day. Okay, Vikas, I just want to also understand that how closely do you follow the repo rate? Because we do know that the repo rate is on its way down. With the economy not doing that well, so the RBI has been cutting interest rates. Is your interest rate as well market linked?
Not really, because these are small term loans and small amounts. So typically we will have a fixed rate across the 3 months. So they're not usually so linked up. Also, it depends a lot on our cost of borrowing. So, but it's quite made quite clear upfront, and usually these amounts are anywhere between 1 lakh to 5 lakh only, unlike home loans, which are much bigger, where the interest rate becomes very, very significant. Here the amounts are small, so it's not really that much of a worry.
Are there any hidden costs involved, maybe processing fees or any other charges that are involved when it comes to taking this loan out?
Yeah, so we will take so everything is upfront. We will take a processing fee, and in case you are taking a loan in the middle of the month, we will have to, take what is called a broken period interest to account for, because the interest will be payable after 1 month. So there is a small gap which happens, for which we will take a small amount. Right, and we will take an upfront processing fee, but the agreement clearly mentions all this, and after that there is no other charges. So processing fee and the interest per month, broadly that.
You know what, in fact, watching the show, one of our viewers has called in. He wants to in fact ask you a question right now. We have Raja on the phone line. Hi Raja, good evening. Thank you for calling in. What's your question?
Yeah, very good evening. This is a lovely idea, no doubt about it. Out of the box ideas. Let me just tell you, let me just ask Mr. Vikas understand. In Bangalore, all the rentals are for 11 months, okay?
Okay.
Now, there is a standard, each and every agreement in any part of Bangalore, the refund on the deposit 1 month right away is deducted, okay?
Okay.
Whenever you leave. Now, the other parties want to continue with the same property. On a rental property, every year is on a renewal. Now, how does that work? See, you have to please bear in mind, 1 month the deposit is gone.
True.
Out of that, whatever 11 months you're depositing.
True.
So how do you address this issue? Do you have all these things in mind, or?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Vikas, how would you respond?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's say, for example, you paid 6 months deposit. At the end, obviously the landlord cuts something because of painting or whatever issues. So whatever the difference is, then we will reclaim that much from you. So let's say the deposit was 1 lakh and the landlord only returned 90,000. Then the 10,000 we will reclaim from you. right? Secondly, if you renew the agreement, we will renew the loan and we will top it up and restart the loan for another 11 months. That's not a problem. We do that with many customers.
Almost like a rollover of the loan. Would you call it that, Vikas?
We'll just roll over the loan, right? And it'll just keep continuing like that. So that's not a problem.
Okay, all right, Raja, I hope you have got your question answered. Yes, there are lots of innovative products out there, especially for all the urban millennials. Okay, I think Raja has a follow-up question. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, just I want to add up. We are continuing in the same property as well as, the understanding between me and the landlord is that we are renewed. So no question of any deduction. No question of any deduction. It continues on. So whenever that happens, the deduction will take place. Now I got his point. You get back that minus the deduction, get back the amount, whatever it is. That is what it is. I am clear. You got my point. When I'm renewing the rental on the same terms and conditions.
At the same, okay.
With the increase, whatever it is agreed upon.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, that is continuing. The deposit will still remain, no deduction.
Okay, Vikas.
Whenever I leave, the deduction will be there.
Different. Okay, Vikas, how would you respond?
Yeah, so we'll follow that accordingly, right? So if the deposit remains, we will also keep that same as outstanding and just roll over the loan. At the time when it is paid, whatever difference is not paid to you, not paid back, we will reclaim that from the individual. So if you have basically taken that, we'll reclaim the difference from you. So it's a straightforward. Whatever you do with the landlord, we will mimic exactly the same thing.
Okay, all right. Vikas, just thank you, Raja, by the way, for calling in. I hope this was informative. By the way, Vikas, I just had another question. You mentioned the interest rate remains the same, right, throughout the period of this loan. That does not change regardless of the tenure as well, but it's a fixed interest rate.
Yeah. So we charge 1.5% per month.
Yes.
It'll always be that. Like even banks, when they give a personal loan, it doesn't float.
Okay.
Unlike home loans is basically where you have a rate which will be mapped out. Otherwise, if you take a two-wheeler loan or a personal loan or a rental deposit loan, whatever is agreed upfront, we will keep the same interest rate right through the tenure.
All right. Okay. On that note, Vikas, thank you so much for joining us. This certainly was a very interesting discussion and the latest from the stable of financial technology, a loan for your security deposit. You don't need to have sweat beads appearing on your forehead every time your landlord now asks you for a whopping amount of a deposit that almost equates to perhaps many of you guys 6 and 7 months salary. On that note, we'll take a very quick break right here on the show.